The Bastard Movie Archives, Hangover, with Andy and Max. You never asked for it.
Hello.
Hey.
Hi.
I'm Andy Steinhauer.
I'm Max Weiland.
And this is the Bastard Movie Archives, The Hangover. You never asked for it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
today we watched... what did we watch today, Max?
Caravan of Courage.
Caravan of Courage,
An
which is
Ewok adventure.
is a Star Wars movie.
Yeah, it was made in 1984. I think it was made for TV. It was a made for TV movie.
It was made for a discerning palate.
Cashing in on, post Return of the Jedi Star Wars fandom.
Very canon, very
Right?
very important stuff to note if you have never seen it. Otherwise, you will not understand the new movie.
Yes. Yeah. Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens relies heavily.
It does. I think really the way to understand this movie is more like the intro sequence to The Force Awakens.
Right.
Because there are trolls and Tinkerbell makes an appearance.
Does this explain why Luke vanished? He actually vanished because of the Ewoks. He was just like, fuck this.
Luke was having adventures with the Ewoks, and then it upset him so much that he had to go to a rock in Scotland.
Yeah, or Ireland, I think. Yeah, and he just sort of he saw the Yub Nub song happening
One too many times,
and he was like, "That's it. I sacrificed." I went through all this for this. This is what freedom means, and he realized the horrid mistake he had made and just left.
This has made me not want to be a Jedi anymore. Now I want to be a Selkie.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. He wants to be a Selkie. He just turns into a. That's actually what he's been doing the whole time. Is he learns how to turn into essentially a water creature.
And then fucking Rey comes along, and
that's why he's so pissed at the end of that.
at the end he's just mad.
He's just fuck.
Really?
That's what happens.
I guess the Force is a thing.
Whatever. Anyway, so what have you been up to? We have to talk about our bullshit.
Oh, man. So I was in Colorado. I drank good beer. We covered that. But I also have Fallout 4 on my hard drive now.
Oh, yeah. You've been playing that.
It's not... I feel like it's not the best Fallout game because it lacks a lot of the RPG magicalness that made other Fallout games so great.
Right.
But it is a great game.
I still haven't finished 3. I mean, I played 1 and 2 a long time ago.
Sure.
I don't think I ever finished 3.
I think 3 departs a little bit as 4 has, and then New Vegas is a lot similar. And because in New Vegas you can do a lot more diplomatic things. There's a bit more freedom. There's a bit more like micromanagement with your character and your inventory. New Vegas feels a lot more like 1 and 2 than 3 does to me.
Yeah. Maybe I'll play that. I don't know. I just Jordan actually for Christmas got me Undertale. So I'm really cracking out on that.
Sweet.
That's a really good game.
Sweet.
Yeah. Again, JRPG or an RPG where you don't have to kill people. You just have to be really it's real hard.
There's a Let's Play of Fallout 4 where somebody tries to beat the game without killing people.
I heard they like almost broke the game, but they didn't. Yeah. Well, that's part of the. So I there was part of me that's how I had heard. Mm-hmm. And the first character that you really have to fight, you don't want to kill, but you're so used to RPG lingo that it's like, oh well, this isn't working, so everything I'm trying isn't working, so fuck, I guess I have to fight this person. And you fight them thinking maybe you won't kill them or something like that. And then you do. And it hurts emotionally. Like, they really fucking make you feel it. And then, so what I did was I was like, oh, fuck, there's got to be a way I don't have to kill it. So I reloaded the game and went back, and the evil flower, because there's a flower that's evil in the game, it starts off all happy, and then it's like, oh, no, this is actually Satan. And the flower sits there, and like I found out a way not to kill the character, and went through, and the flower's just like, I know what you did. You killed her. And then you went back and reloaded because you think you have that kind of power, don't you? And I was like, what? Oh my God. It's like, I know what you did. And you're a bad person. He's like, you're going to fit perfectly into my little world. Like,
so the game
knows when you reload. Yeah.
Oh,
It's so good. I'm gonna play it through again to see what happens if I don't kill her the first time around. But like fucking,
I think
and it
you
makes
just sold me on this game,
and it makes you feel hard feels when you actually do it because she's just trying to do it to protect you, but you have to go start the adventure, and like it hurts, and she's just like, please be like a good person, and then dies, and you're just like, this is fucking. I feel like really sad right now. It's such a good game though. It's such a good game.
I think you sold me on it with the flower.
It's like I think it's on sale till the 7th.
Is it
for the winter sale?
Is it story heavy?
It's an RPG, so it's super story heavy.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Well, no, I haven't played a story heavy game I've really liked for a long time.
Yeah. I've been out of. I don't know. There's not a lot of. I love JRPGs, but I can't play a lot of them because I just don't have 60 hours.
What?
To dump into a game, but this is definitely. I don't know how long this game is. It is hard. It's super hard, but
all right.
Yeah, it's good. But yeah, so that's I guess updates with our lives.
Yeah, video games.
Yeah, that's kind of was my Christmas present to myself.
Also, Max, pilot season's coming up, and this is the first year where I will have my ducks in a row to maybe actually take advantage of pilot season.
Good.
Yeah.
Pilot season is coming up, I guess.
So scary times.
Scary times. I'm more gonna be working on the content side of that, I guess.
Yep.
We'll be doing pilots for us. I'm not gonna be doing network shit. So, because you want to talk about not having a life. Working in a writer's room for a network is fucking awful. But yeah.
Back to the most important canon Star Wars movie.
Yeah. So anyway, but the last time we recorded was right before because we went to go see it Christmas Eve.
Yep.
So I had seen it, but you hadn't. So now we're on the same page, and we've both seen Star Wars Episode 7.
Yeah. Loved it.
Yeah.
Really liked it.
Really big fan of it.
Yeah. And the contrarians have come out of the woodworks of the internet.
Oh, sure. Everyone knew that was going to happen.
But it's pretty thin.
Yeah, it's thin. The stuff that worries me is the people that are coming out and shitting on the original Star Wars to make Episode 7 sound even better. And it's odd to me. It's a weird logic to be like, why are you... I mean, of all movies to shit on to make the current one seem better... So, like, obviously the big argument that Rey is a Mary Sue. I mean, she's equally as powerful as Luke is in the first one. And so now people are like, in order to protect, I guess, the new movie, they're like, well, Luke, it's derivative. Star Wars is derivative, and Luke was a Mary Sue. And it I mean, I don't think anyone really knows what a Mary Sue is or what it means anymore. It seems to mean a million different things now. But the thing that worries me is that people are really shitting on Lucas and shitting on like the original. Like people, I don't think people understand the original Star Wars movie anymore because we've grown up and lived in the shadow of it our whole lives, and it's. I don't know.
I just think it's a few people on the internet, really, because you see like
on
your Facebook feed, it's like, here's 8 reasons why Star Wars blah blah, and it's like, do I really need a list of 8 observations that you had to somehow give your weird opinion?
Well, the thing
more
I don't
weight?
like is like everyone freaking out about Lucas's interview with Charlie Rose. Where they're like, he's shitting on the new movie. I'm like, he's not...
No, because if you actually read the stuff that's not out of context, he's just sort of giving you some opinions on it.
Yeah, I mean, Lucas isn't going to mince words. He doesn't give a shit. I mean, I know he came out and apologized for it, but it's like, but the fact that he called Disney, he like subtly implied Disney as being the white slavers he sold his children to. I fucking love that. But
that wasn't even that.
That wasn't that bad.
Yeah, I think it was the fact that he called it like a retro movie.
Well, no, he did, and Lucas comes from a school of filmmakers that we pretend to idolize but actually hate, which are people that refuse to do fan service. They just don't do it. It's not in their DNA. Lucas made the prequels wanting to tinker and experiment and make experimental movies. And he just did it under the guise of Star Wars because, well, he made an experimental movie and it literally became what everybody makes nowadays. Like, people forget that.
Well, it was supposed to be a Flash Gordon movie too.
Well, he wanted to do Flash Gordon, but then decided when he couldn't get the rights, it was a good thing because he didn't want to do Mince because Mince is super racist, and he didn't want to do. So he kind of was like, "Oh, I'll just do my version of what." He also wanted to do something more meaningful as a kids movie because that's what he did with American Graffiti. He didn't just want to he wanted to make a meaningful experimental movie, but as an adventure movie that he used to see in the old Republic serials. So I just wish we wouldn't shit on him, because I think we forget that he made it.
Yeah, it's also okay in somebody's grand career to make some things that aren't very good.
Later career stuff, it doesn't. Yeah, later, that's fine. It doesn't take away fucking THX, American Graffiti, Star Wars, and you can count Empire and Jedi too.
And I think the reason why people are so pissed off about the prequels is because that's such a sacred cow, and then it shat all over our collective upbringings or childhoods.
Yeah.
Which
I actually grew up not minding him. I watched him.
I watched all the Star Wars movies except for Caravan before seeing the new one, and the prequels held up even less than we did when I first saw them. I mean, the CG aged poorly. The color palette is like weird and not very broad, even though they are colorful movies. The acting seemed even more wooden, and it just. They were really, really bad. And I know everybody says that when we first saw them and thinks like, okay, yeah, of course they were bad. But I remember watching those movies in the theater and trying to be really excited afterwards and defend them, and then thinking like, oh, they just weren't very good. And now I watch them again, and they are really bad.
I don't know. I actually don't mind them. But I like weird, long, boring movies.
You don't.
So I don't mind them.
But it's not. It's
well,
not
except
that they
for
talk about
Attack of the Clones is rough.
It's not that they talk about galactic politics. It's not that there's a really bad love story where the two leads have very little chemistry.
Yeah, that one's real bad.
Like scene to scene, line to line, it's pretty bad. They really are. I mean, I
don't think they're bad structurally. I think they're bad. I think they're bad in terms of like character design, or I mean character narrative. In standard narrative form, they're bad, but I think structurally they hold up.
Fine,
they tell the story well.
Then.
Hi, Brad.
Hey.
Hi, Brad. Because fine, structurally maybe it does follow an established
and the
pattern
story
that's
works.
known as.
I mean, the story is pretty. I think the story is compelling. The actual story of the Fall of the Republic is. I like it. It's compelling. It's literally Rome. It's history, but
okay,
I like it.
That's all fine. But when you have characters in scenes saying stuff that is shitty, like how am I supposed to enjoy that as an audience member? How am I supposed to follow the grand scheme of things when it's just. It's. We shouldn't argue about the prequels.
The prequels.
That is over and done. The new movie was tremendous.
Yep.
It blew my already high expectations out of the water. I really liked it.
Yeah, no, I'm a big fan of it. Daisy Ridley's definitely one of the best things to happen to Star Wars in a long time. I'm a big fan of her. Yeah, so
let's talk about Caravan.
Caravan? Yeah, you want to talk about some bad movies.
Yeah, and apparently there's a prequel or a sequel to this.
There's the Battle for Endor, which is not, the Return of the Jedi battle. It's a sequel. I actually haven't seen the sequel. I've only seen this one.
Why did people at LucasArts or whoever the hell
Lucasfilm
greenlit these things? Why did they?
Oh, these were money grabs. These were same thing as the Christmas special. It was just cashing in on carrying the Star Wars universe.
I mean, did people of the time think that Ewoks were what people loved about this crap?
Well, the kids did.
Did they?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the Ewoks are popular.
Okay.
The Ewoks are popular. They're teddy bears.
Okay. I never really got the whole Ewok thing, but, that's me.
No, I mean, they were, but, although I did like that was one thing Harrison Ford asked J.J. Abrams.
What?
No teddy bears. That was like a condition.
Yeah.
There are no teddy bears.
Oh, Harrison Ford is the teddy bear.
Yeah, he's very lovable.
In his grumpy way.
Yeah, that grumpy, wonderful Harrison Ford way.
I love old Harrison Ford because his acting seems like shades of grumpy. He's just...
Oh, yeah.
Which I love. It's just, he's like happy grumpy and sad grumpy and like action grumpy and in love grumpy.
And then real sad.
Sad grumpy.
I don't know. At the end, I don't think it's even grumpy. I think it's just sad. when he gets murdered.
No, he's grumpy about how sad he is.
Is it? Oh, he's mad that he has feelings.
Yeah.
He's mad that he has feelings for his own son. Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds like my kind of father.
And not mad, grumpy.
Yeah,
There's a big difference.
Just grumpy about it. He's grumpy. He's having feels.
Though I don't know if it's a thing personally in his life that happened, or if he just came across grumpy. But ever since he had his recent plane crash, in interviews and stuff, he seems to be a little more, a little less grumpy.
No, I think he's more like that because he's getting paid $18 million plus gross points to be in a movie that he probably actually likes it.
Did he need the money though?
What?
That's why I think it might be the plane crash, because obviously he gets to be in Star Wars and is going to make all the money. But I don't know, to a man who kind of already has everything and has had an amazing career, like I would like to think that maybe it was the plane crash giving him a new lease on life.
He's been in a few already, which is why I just
but this is the one that fucked him up.
Yeah, he did get real fucked up from this one, but he got fucked up on. He had a helicopter crash that fucked him up pretty bad too, like about 10, 15 years ago. But no, this one did mess him up pretty bad. But who knows? I mean, maybe he is. I think he's being, ever since the Star Wars promotion train kind of started going, he seemed a lot more open and like kind of less Harrison Fordy.
Yeah.
He's been less like that, less grumpy man.
On a similar subject, the other thing that I've been interested on the internet was, I think with Carrie Fisher, how there were these things that I've seen on people's nude feeds, on people's news feeds about people have been poo-pooing Carrie Fisher for not being super skinny. But I don't think anybody actually poo-pooed her. I think it was more just people reacting to nothing.
Like they were anticipating the reaction, and they're like, yeah.
It's like PC culture before anybody could actually be negative.
It's like Minority Report, but with social justice warriors, where you don't even have to start saying anything before they've already started retorting it.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's probably true, because I don't remember anyone shitting on it.
No, I don't remember.
I don't remember anyone being like, "Oh, did you see Carrie? God, she looked real bad."
Yeah, she looks age appropriate.
She looks fine. She looks how I would expect a woman of her age to look.
Right.
To be honest with you, she actually looks great considering her history of alcohol abuse, how
much coke she was doing,
and how much coke she was doing, and probably
the
real bad depression.
Yeah.
So she looks good.
I always, I thought that was really funny though. I saw it on a lot of news feeds. It's just like people angry at Carrie Fisher's age appropriate body.
Yeah, I actually, my favorite thing was that they didn't have Luke be all like glory and stuff. He looks like a crazy fucking wizard.
Oh, he looks great too.
He
though.
looks amazing as just a crazy old wizard.
He looks exactly as I would expect him to.
Yeah.
And
did you see
honest,
that thing?
Because because like the voiceover world, like I know how he looks.
Yeah,
but he looked even more like badass when he shows up for his no lines.
Well, he doesn't need any. He's Luke fucking Skywalker. All he's got to do is just be all like, I haven't seen another person for 10 years face. And then you whip out the lightsaber and he's just like, bad memories. So, did you see that thing I posted, that meme that's going around where it's just like when your kid finds you and you've been drinking in Ireland the whole time?
Yeah, I did see that.
Yeah,
I don't know him personally, but
I've heard he's a real cool guy.
Yeah, that's what everybody says. It'll be interesting to see if he can play like super grizzled.
I'm pretty sure he's gonna play weird.
I know, because he is a tremendous actor. I mean, his voiceover career has made him so much better than I think he was. But I just it'll be really interesting to just see him, because the air he gives off in person is such a nice. He seems so nice.
Yeah, but he's gonna. The thing I like is when they make him all grizzled. Like, I think half the reason why they did that was because I know he's gonna play it weird. He's gonna play, because when you want Mark Hamill to particularly because of his history of playing villains.
Mm-hmm.
He's not going to be villainous. He's just going to be strange. He's going to be like Yoda. He's going to be a weird, kind of dark guy.
One would hope, because all his voiceover career has been nothing if not surprising. I mean, his characters are so original.
He started that before Star Wars. Remember, he started with he was the Fairy Prince in Wizards, which came out the same year.
Right.
Ralph Bakshi's Wizards. Yeah, so he's been. I mean, before that, he was doing commercials and stuff, which is funny because he like had this like dual career where he was like his like big blowout roles was he actually thought Wizards was going to be his big blowout for doing voiceover, and that's where his career was going to go because he was a pretty boy, but I don't think he thought he was like, I don't have the acting chops. And then the other career was I want to do this weird fucking stupid space movie, and of course that was like space movie destroyed everything. Like no one remembers Wizards, but everyone remembers Star Wars, even though they came out. Wizards came out before, I think, a few months before Star Wars did.
That was a good time to get into voice acting, though, too, because back then people thought voice acting was like a little bastard side gig.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
little did they know that the voice acting realm of today is just like the most crowded, awful thing to try and get into.
That's it's a nightmare now, but it pays really well. In certain cases,
it's the industry's not doing so well. The pay-to-play sites are really wreaking havoc on as much money as actors can make.
Big movies make money.
That's the way of the world, though. I have a lot of actor friends who think that the middle class of acting is disappearing, which is kind of true, and you can make a lot less money voice acting than you used to. The bar of entry style,
even
which
doing
is
like
true.
TV nowadays is you make a lot less than you used to.
But that's just the way. That's not the way of this industry. That's the way of every industry. Which would be great if we could do something to address that. But no, it's not just acting. It's not just
Well, there was a great interview with they just did the directors roundtable. The Hollywood Reporter just did their director. There's a great thing that Tarantino talks about how movies and things nowadays are no longer the working man's thing because now they're like $20 a ticket. It's like you have to commit to that. You can't. It's not like every person. Movies were built on every person could go to the movies.
Right, and now they're becoming
like 5
theater.
cents or for forever it was $5 to go to a movie theater. And that's I would be shocked to see. I bet attendance would be a lot higher if it was a lot cheaper.
I don't know.
I think it would.
I don't know. I mean, it would be higher if it were cheaper, of course, but that business model of making it cheap so everybody could go wasn't working out for them. So now they're making it more like theater.
Well, they inflated it though with the megaplexes. They really they created their own bubbles. by making those
12 theaters in a little building.
By making them massive megaplexes. It wasn't always like that. They just started doing that because that, and then they started raising prices, and they're wondering why all those theaters are shutting down because not that many people go. But
well, regardless of the unfortunate like labor practices and nobody having money, I'm happy that things are going towards where it's more of a theatrical experience, and I like how people applaud and make noise.
Yeah, and that's what makes Star Wars movies great. You're always going to get that. People are always going to cheer and applaud. I mean,
because we went and saw Star Wars. You were there.
Christmas Eve. Well, people were cheering in the back when Rey fucking got the lightsaber.
People were cheering. People were clapping. Yeah. There were many instances of that. Joanna, my wife, went to Colorado and watched it with her parents. And there was a lot less of that, she said, and a lot of people, including her, because she doesn't like that shit, were just annoyed by it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're like nobody's here, stupid. Nobody can hear you, and I really enjoy.
Yeah, I'm in that crowd. I like getting into. I went to midnight showings of Star Wars since the special editions. Since the special editions came out in '97, I've been to the midnight showings of every Star Wars movie, with the exception of Force Awakens. I saw that opening day.
I don't just mean Star Wars though. Do you think we like that atmosphere because we're makers and we're vicariously like enjoying that, living it?
Yeah, maybe that's the case. It's actually funny because I know a few people that are like that. I remember going to Newark to see Army of Darkness, and a friend of mine going with us was annoyed by everybody cheering and clapping and chanting.
That's the
and I'm
point.
Like, that's
why we paid $12.
Yeah, that's why I paid $12 to go see a movie that was made back in the 90s.
So. Yeah, I saw Life Aquatic at New Beverly, and it was transcendent to to go and have everybody laugh at all the right spots.
Yeah.
And
But yeah, and I think I've always experienced that was an okay thing to do. There's a difference between talking and yelling during a movie and then just like cheering or clapping.
Oh yeah.
And cheering and clapping, like that was shit. Every Star Wars premiere was like that. And even when I was there opening day, I mean, you know, in Colorado, because that's where I saw it, was at the Cinemark in Colorado, and they people were clapping and cheering and yelling and having a good old time.
Well, I remember when I saw Fury Road, when Max is on that cat pole.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then the world just explodes behind him.
Yeah.
There were cheers.
Oh yeah. I've seen Mad Max was the first film in a long time where I've actually heard people gasp.
Yeah.
Like
right?
like you can actually feel people like, oh Jesus.
It actually feels kind of dangerous because
Yeah.
it's not all CG.
Yeah. It was also the premiere of Star Wars was the first time I had ever actually seen the feeling that you could feel it in the theater of like it was almost like getting sucker punched in the chest when Han dies.
Oh, yeah.
I could feel like that theater. It just like you could feel everybody just sort of like you could feel like the wind getting sucked out of the room in that theater.
I mean, let's be honest though.
Well, it's narratively best.
Not sucker punched maybe, but
Yeah.
not sucker punched because you could see that coming a mile away.
No, yeah, you could, and I think that was kind of the reason why it was like a sucker punch. I think it was because people saw it coming, and when it happened, it just makes it worse. It wasn't one of those things that like you knew it was coming, so you could prepare yourself. It was just like you knew it was coming and you were dreading it, and then it happened.
Yeah. By the way, didn't know it was coming because I didn't see spoilers or anything like that.
Good.
It was just like, yeah, he's going out there to his son. He's unprotected. He's the old guy. You know, they're going to usher.
Well, it's
in the new
Obi-Wan.
people.
It's him doing the Obi-Wan.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I was kind of waiting for that.
Yeah.
I don't think the movie's worse for it. I just wasn't surprised when it happened.
Yeah, I think it worked. And it needed to happen. It needed.
Yeah,
it
we
needed,
need the new movies to happen.
Yeah, we needed to. And Han, I mean, there's been like the whole ongoing argument that Han should have died a long time ago. I'm kind of glad Lucas didn't kill him because everyone wanted him to die in
Return.
Jedi.
Yeah,
and he originally did in the script. And of course that was the big like Lucas changed that as a ploy to sell more toys. It was where it was influencing his narrative, but actually they made it work to me because I like the idea that Leia and Han have progeny.
Yeah.
And I actually kind of like the drama they've set up, like that their lives kind of fall apart at the loss of their child. Sure. I think that's a very mature thing to do.
That's
for a kids movie.
That's a very real thing that's supposed to happen when you lose a child.
I've heard a lot of people really mad about that like ruins their and this is where I just hate I'm not a fan of fan service. And Star Wars rides that line. The most recent Star Wars movie rides that line pretty closely.
Sure.
I think it does well, but I generally am against fan service just because it just seems fetishy to me.
I agree. I don't know how that ruins people's.
Because I think they wanted they
wanted a happily ever after.
They wanted Han and Leia to like be always in love with each other and things.
Well, they are. It's just a more.
It was a mature love.
Yeah.
Like the part where she says, "No matter how many times we fought, it's always hard to see." Yeah, it was good. It worked. They did love each other. It doesn't mean they're all domesticated.
It's just not black and white.
Yeah.
It was. I really appreciated that about this movie that it was a mature love.
Yeah. So Star Wars. So let's move on to the obviously superior film.
Oh yeah, the film that
Caravan
blows
of
them all out
Courage.
of the water, Caravan
Which
of Courage.
is just another word for Fellowship of the Ring.
And we've used up most of our time talking about the movie we like. So
the fact that Star Wars Episode 7.
Very quickly, there's some people. There's a kid with some really nasty resting bitch face. I can only hope he grew out of.
And his very very white little sister.
Yeah, and the parents who are of no consequence, who are
they
probably,
get kidnapped by the troll in the very beginning.
Yeah, and there's a troll. Everybody, they
that was in the script for Jedi.
Really?
That's where they got that costume.
Oh, okay.
You can see the Ralph McQuarrie art where there's a scene that was cut in Return of the Jedi where a troll attacks the Ewok village.
Well, they crash land on Endor, with their ship that looks like it's out of Battlestar.
On the forest moon of Endor.
Sorry, the forest moon of Endor. Thank you, Max. They crash land, and some Ewoks don't eat the children.
No, which is surprising. I mean, they were so ready to like roast.
I mean, they looked delicious.
Yeah, well, they were so willing to like literally start roasting Han and Chewie and Luke until C-3PO showed up.
But these kids, I guess, get a pass.
They get a pass because it's for kids.
But then why didn't they learn from these kids to like maybe not roast Han and Chewie and them when that happens a couple years later?
Because I think this happens before Jedi, I think. So technically these white people are Imperials that crash land on their planet.
Oh, so that's why they go after them, because they're like, you rebel scum, we're going to eat you.
Oh, maybe. they've been brainwashed by the Imperials.
All right, so these imperial fascists land on Endor.
Oh, I love this movie. Got so much better knowing they're imperial. I mean, he fucking treats them like they are, just like all these dumb pagan bastards. Like he kind of treats them that way.
He does. He calls them like some racist names, pig face or something. Mop face.
Yeah, mop face.
Anyways, some bullshit happens and some children's stuff happens, and then they decide they have to go on a quest that's not Lord of the Rings at all to save their parents from the troll. It's not Lord of the Rings at all.
Nope.
There's a hang glider where it looks like they just put a child in an Ewok costume on a hang glider and have him go nuts.
Yeah. Either a little person or a child in there, and it looks real dangerous.
Which they had great insurance, I guess.
Yeah, well, after banking all the money you made with Empire and Jedi,
right.
I'm sure you had lots of money. Yeah, you can get away killing a few children. It's fine.
Then what happens? It was so boring, this movie.
Well, they go on their adventure. They get the priestess, who's essentially just wizard lady. The woodsman, which is like literally a scene pulled directly out of Seven Samurai.
They also go through several biomes, which
kind of breaks the whole
forest moon of Endor.
Yeah, because it's supposed to be a whole forest.
Which I mean, I don't know how you could really have planets that are single biome.
Well, but no, because it's fantasy. It's
that's what I'm saying.
Each planet is essentially like on a map, being like you're traveling to the desert, so you go to the desert planet.
That's what I'm saying. Is Star Wars isn't realistic about their planets because there's so many single biome planets.
Sure. Yeah.
But this movie breaks that because they want them to go through desert.
Break it. Yeah, there's all Star Wars planets are single biome.
So they go through the chaparral place outside of the forest, and then they go through the desert, and they all have these little magical items, and a bunch of really magical shit happens, which I really don't like.
Yeah, it's not like Force magic. It is full on fantasy magic, which is Star Wars is fantasy. It's space fantasy. It is magic. It's just guised in space opera.
Yeah.
So instead of wizards doing like pulling things out of their cloaks, you have Sith and Jedi, who are essentially just magic warlocks. They're wizards. But this is like literally they have like weird nature magic.
And I hate it in the Star Wars universe.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
If we weren't in the Star Wars universe, if we were just fantasy and they were little bears or dwarves or something, sure. But it really upset me.
Well, of all the things to upset you, that's a weird one. Because, I mean, it wouldn't make the movie any better if it wasn't Star Wars.
It would. It would. Because the whole time...
The movie's terrible.
Well, yeah, but look, you have all these expectations, and then when they made this, they had to do all these things to shoehorn Star Wars into it.
Well, yeah, because it was probably to be honest with you, it's probably some story that was eventually turned into Willow.
It is very Willow-esque.
It's probably Lucas writing the notes for Willow. That's why it's a story by George Lucas, and some guy got it and was like, I don't know, make it Ewoks.
Yeah, but Willow is not this terrible.
Well, no, I know, because this is Willow was after Lucas got out of his like coke fiend thing. This was obviously when he was coming up with the story of Willow, and he was just on a ton of blow. And so he just was scribbling down, and they're just like, make it Ewoks, make it the fuzzy teddy bears.
All right. But I really feel like if you would have taken this and you didn't have to shoe in
Star Wars, no, it wouldn't have
Star Wars, it would have been not as bad.
I bet the original story wasn't Star Wars at all, and they just did it because, well, the year before Jedi had come out, and they're just capitalizing on that.
They wanted that money.
Yeah, remember, Lucas hates the fact that everything he has to do is Star Wars. He didn't want that. He probably had a million other stories he wanted to do, and
like Red Tails.
Well, yeah. Well, he always wanted to do the
Tuskegee.
Airman. That was like a big thing he'd always wanted to do. But no, I mean like other stories like stories like Willow and things like that.
Anyway, they go across the desert. They use their magical items to not die a couple times, but it's pretty inconsequential.
Yep.
And then they
have a weird sex pact with the woodsman guy, the kid.
Oh,
kid
right.
Signs up for sex slavery with the woodman.
Well,
the axe contest.
We were talking about how Ewoks reproduce.
Yeah, they jerk off in the woods.
They jerk off in the woods. They have, and then the Ewoks grow.
Yeah.
Or they all have horrible duck cloaca and horrible vaginal canals and horrible hooked duck penises.
I just didn't see enough women to make that kind of reproduction possible.
Well, yeah, you just can't tell.
Well, I mean, the only woman we know of was the priestess, right? And I guess the one holding the baby. I guess she was a girl.
Maybe. But maybe there's no men and women. Maybe they have all the parts.
Both?
They have both.
They have both.
Yeah, they got to change. They got to trade genes somehow.
So is that what they? So maybe that's why they find the white boy so interesting, is because he only has one. So they're like, here, I'll do you, and then you do me. That'll be fascinating.
I just also like to think that sex for Ewoks is horrible.
Yeah, I like the idea that they scream and wail while they're doing it, but maybe they like it.
No, they don't like it. It's awful. They just know that they have to. That's why they didn't propagate the whole planet, is because it's so awful that the population just sort of
they just keeps
pretty stable. Yeah.
I mean, that curbs the sort of fact that small furry things tend to be really horny all the time.
Well, maybe that hurts too. Maybe Ewok's existence is just a sexual nightmare.
They're just like, they like really, really, really want to have sex really bad, but it's really painful and it's terrible.
They know
when
it's awful.
It's like, wow, that's
a sexual nightmare.
It's a sexual nightmare. They are stuck between a rock and a hard place when it comes to sex.
They are stuck between cloaca and cloaca.
Yeah. So.
Yep.
So anyway, yeah, you kind of have to like install your own fucked up narrative into this story.
Well, that's all we could think about instead of actually concentrating on this movie where there's no subtitles and a lot of language.
And that girl that probably didn't have many lines because she couldn't say them.
I don't feel good.
She didn't look good.
She did not look like she felt good.
Yeah, at the beginning she did not look good.
Yeah, probably not acting. Yeah. Probably just not feeling good.
Yeah, but so I don't know. Takeaway from this movie. Well, how would you pitch this today? If you went to Lucasfilm right now to do a side movie, one of the anthology films, how would you pitch this?
How would I pitch this today? Remember Ewoks? End of pitch. It wouldn't get made today. It's popular today to shit on Ewoks is what it is. It would be like making a Jar Jar movie.
So I would pitch it, that's why I'd pitch it like Critters.
Like Critters?
Yeah, I'd turn the Ewoks into Critters.
So you're like
it's Caravan of Courage, except for they're like little ball monsters.
They're not
roll up into giant monsters and eat things.
They're not Ewoks. They're Bewoks.
Yeah, Bewoks.
You've heard of Ewoks. Now it's time for Bewoks.
You want to know where I would? It would be after they've gone extinct.
Oh, so it's the apocalypse of Ewoks.
It's whatever.
So after the Death Star crashed and killed them all.
Yeah.
This is what rises from the ashes.
Yeah, is this like demonic, nasty Ewok village that no one goes to because they're still like in the process of like, jerking off into dead people's mouths kind of thing, while they're beating them over with like a stone.
Why is it a given that they jerk off into dead people's mouths?
Because they're just, I don't know, they're like animals,
They're Bewoks.
Monkeys have weird fetishes. I mean, dolphins use dead fish heads to jerk off. It's like they're at that phase.
Okay.
And rediscovering sentience and life.
They're half sentient mutant things.
Yeah.
Because there was probably some awful
that have mixed tech from the Death Star.
Right.
So it's like real dangerous. It's a real dangerous world.
Oh man, yeah. Some of it's irradiated. Some of it you don't want to use. Yeah, interesting.
I kind of want to see that movie though.
I kind of want to see that movie.
It's a real dark and scary movie. Yeah.
Oh, or what if what if you change it slightly to make it a horror movie?
No, it would. That's why I said Critters. Like Critters, right. But yeah.
But like a just a straight up legit horror movie where there's these little bears, and because you can't understand what they're saying, you just the whole time you're going, you just change the slant of the movie slightly to make it like you're pretty sure they're going to kill you wherever you're going. And so you have to be friendly to them.
Yeah.
Because when you're not friendly to them, they like get a little rough. So you have to be friendly.
Yeah, you're not quite sure. Yeah.
It's really a cultural misunderstanding, but you're pretty sure that when you get where you're going,
they're gonna eat you.
Yeah.
And you're prepping for that. The whole movie is literally you prepping for like, I'm probably gonna have to kill all these teddy bears when they try to eat me. Yeah.
That's how I would make that movie today. If not your post-apocalyptic idea, because I mean,
it's like Mad Max with fucking teddy bears.
Mad Max and Adventure Time changed the way I see post-apocalyptic movies.
Yeah.
Those two things combined are just so incredible and so great. That's how I want to watch post-apocalyptic things.
Yeah. Yeah. I just like the idea of like they have like essentially the basics for a turbo laser and they're not quite sure how to use it. What if it just sometimes goes off like it's a broken reactor and it's just like every once in a while shoots a giant death beam into the sky so they all like pray to it? It's like this weird cult and religion that's out of these like weird demented versions of Ewoks.
They have to. It's like
sacrifice people.
Exactly.
They sacrifice people into the giant turbo laser beam.
They have to find people and sacrifice them.
I'm gonna write that and take it to Lucasfilm and pitch it to Catholic. I'm gonna make an R-rated Ewok movie. It'll be great.
Hey, what's your name again? Yeah, you're not allowed to build
You're never allowed back.
Right.
Fuck it. Even if I don't get the Ewok movie, I'm just going to make a movie about evil, cute things that sacrifice people with special stuff.
Well, that's our time. So good timing. Hi, Joe.
Hi.
You're done?
Yeah, we're done. You caught us at the perfect time. We watched a movie with Ewoks.
Oh, the shitty.
Joe knows about the shitty Ewok movies.
The Caravan.
With the headband?
Yeah, with the headband.
Caravan of Courage.
I had no idea that existed until today.
I'm glad you know about that, Joe. Yeah, Joe knows about the shitty Ewok
She's
movies.
a better Star Wars fan than I am.
Yeah, shitty Ewok movies.
Well, hey,
Wet all day.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's going to be like that all week.
The storm El Nino has arrived. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Is that not rain gear? Is that not enough? Oh.
Apparently not.
Sorry.
Cool. Well, I guess we're done.
Yeah, I'm Andy Steinhauer.
I'm Max Weiland.
This is the Bastard Movie Archives Hangover.
Yep. Next week, we're going to start our foray into Christploitation.
Christploitation.
The start of what they call a Thief in the Night series. It's 4 films.
Uh-huh.
We'll be watching all 4 of them, so enjoy.
All right.
See you next time.
Bye.
All right.